It's spooky season, the most wonderful time of the year, and I have a fun little project in mind that I thought I would take you guys along and show you. I have been seeing these chicken wire ghosts online for years, and they're super cool, and I love how they look, but chicken wire is sharp, and I'm fragile. So I thought I could use some different materials. I've done the wrap yourself in plastic wrap and cover yourself in tape pattern making method before, very familiar. So I thought, why not make a ghost out of saran wrap and packing tape? I have made a little teeny ghost out of saran wrap and tissue paper for a miniature model thing that I did a while back, and that worked really well and looked really cute. But that ghost was about yay big. This ghost I want to be me big. So a little bit of more of a challenge, but I have done a little testing here. Like up close, it's a little janky, but from a distance, that's spooky. That's creepy. I want to do a kind of like spooky Victorian ghost lady with the big poofy sleeves and a big skirt. So I've got a big roll of cellophane, plastic wrap, a big old pack of packing tape. And I'm going to try my best to do something cool and take you along with me. So let's get started. So I'm gonna start out with the other hand. She is gonna have two left hands because I can't do this on my right hand. I learned from making the first hand that I need to have pieces of tape at the ready because let me tell you, trying to wrap and tape a complex shape with one hand is a challenge, and you don't need to be making it more difficult for yourself by having to cut packing tape for it. Saran wrap. And then just kind of like drape it over your hand. And just like secure the wrist area. Moist. It's already getting like condensation on the inside from my sweat. Beautiful. And I'm just gonna kind of trim here. Beautiful, beautiful. So I made sure all the plastic wrap was covered in packing tape, and then I folded the ends of the tape to create these long fingernails. So now it's time to make the torso part. So I'm going to use Veronica over here. I've got cellophane, and packing tape. We're just gonna do it. Wrap her up like a Christmas ham. Do you wrap ham? So the upper body is done. I don't know if I should work on the skirts next or the arms. I think the arms, because the skirts are just going to be really big and in the way, and I won't be able to get up close to the arms, but I don't really know how I'm doing the arms yet. So time to figure that out. So I think I'm just gonna like wrap my own arm because I'm doing the big poofy sleeves, so I don't need to do the upper arm, so I can just do like my forearm. I think I can do that. I think that'll work. So I just did the same process with my arms, wrapped it in cellophane, wrapped that in packing tape, cut them off, taped up the seam, and then beheld my creation. Then I attached the hand I made earlier and was just delighted with the results. Watch out, she's armed. So I finished the lower arms, the forearm part in the hand. I went and added these little ruffles to the cuffs just to make them a little more fancy, Victorian, Edwardian-esque. So now it's time to do the top parts of the sleeve. I need to stop gesturing with the arms. I want to do those big poofy leg of mutton sleeves like you see in a lot of Victorian dresses. So I have just big rectangles of the cellophane that I'm going to use, but I want to reinforce it with the packing tape, so just do a layer of that over top to make it more stiff so it has a little bit more rigidity, because this is not the strongest, but once you add packing tape on it, it's pretty sturdy. Okay, so I got the arms just kind of like lightly taped on. They're not fully attached, just to make it a little bit easier to do the skirt, so I can kind of like lift them up a little bit to get under and do that, but I'll secure them down eventually. This looks so weird. I used a balloon to create the general shape of the head, then cut and retaped it to create the shape of the chin and the nose. I can't put the head on yet because I want the neck to be a little bit skinnier, and in order to do that I have to just like cut a slit and then squeeze it more, and I can't do that until it's off of the dress form, and I want to do the skirt before I take it off the dress form, so I have to do the skirt first and then I can take it off the dress form and do the head. Strategy. So I'm gonna do the skirt. I think I'm just gonna take like a long piece of this, gather it, plait it, I don't know, slap it, I'm sorry, that was unnecessary, then just gently place it on the waist area. I need to make sure it's long enough that it kind of like goes out and then kind of like trains onto the floor so that she has something to stand on, because she don't got no legs. So I have 6 skirt panels. Now I'm going to tape them up by the long edge, which is going to be a pain in the butt. But I'm going to do it anyway. And I'll probably have to add tape to the bottom of it to give it more stability so it can stand up on its own. Because the top is, it's not heavy, but it's heavy enough that I think just the cellophane on its own won't be able to support it, so I'll need the tape to add more rigidity. This audio is gonna suck. And it did, so I won't make you listen to it. So I taped the skirt to the bodice at the waistline and then taped up the back seam. And then I reattached her arms more permanently this time. Then my cat came to check it out, and he didn't care about it at all, even though he's terrified of plastic bags, so I think I did it right. I killed another roll of tape. That's 2 full rolls of tape from the one partial one I started with down to the last one, which should be plenty, because I'm almost done with the taping, but 2 full rolls of tape. Plus a little more. This is ridiculous. At this point I couldn't go any further with it on the dress form, so I cut a slit down the back and then peeled my creation off the dress form and then held it up like a white man on Tinder with a largemouth bass. So then I spent an unreasonably long amount of time trying to build some sort of internal structure so she could stand on her own, but that failed miserably, so I ended up adding a loop of wire to the back of her neck so she could hang from a rope, but I'll show you how I did that later. Since she can't stand on her own, I used a tomato cage to hold her up, but now that she's off the dress form, I can finally reshape her neck and attach her head. I ended up having to cut a hole in the top of her head so I could reach in and push on the tape to make sure it's stuck down correctly, and I never actually fixed it, so she still has a gaping hole in her head as she floats menacingly behind me. And then I added ruffles to the neck and across the front of the bodice. Here's her little wire loop, which I hooked a carabiner to for easy attachment. Then I took a bunch of long zip ties and cut the little hole part off and taped them to the edge of the skirt to make it stand out a bit further, kind of like putting horsehair braid in a hem. It was a great way to use up all the partial zip ties I've saved after using them for corset boning and refused to throw away. So then I sprayed her with a matte clear coat to give her more of a frosted look, so she'll diffuse light a little bit better. Okay, so it's a full week later. She's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. There's hair stuck to her, I'm sorry. Pretty good, but she is quite bald on the dome, so I bought a wig for her, but it's very curly. I don't want it to be curly, I want it to be straight. So I'm gonna straighten this wig. So I attacked this wig with a clothes steamer and a hairbrush. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to wigs, so it came out fine, but I'm sure I did something wrong. Please don't yell at me. The weight of the wig kind of crushed her head, so I ended up hot gluing a water bottle inside there to give it a bit more structure. So 4 rolls of packing tape and just a little bit of my sanity later, it's time for the reveal. How do I get it out?